Wind chills hitting 30 below zero across 12 states right now. Millions of Americans waking up to dangerous Arctic air. And somehow this clipper system is about to make it even worse. Friday through the weekend, we're tracking snow squalls that could drop visibility to zero in seconds. And I'm about to show you why some meteorologists think I'm wrong about this forecast. But here's what has me losing sleep. After this brutal cold breaks around the 10th, we could see a pattern flip that sets up a storm potentially bigger than the bomb cyclone. Drop your city in the comments right now, because what changed on the overnight models is shocking, and I need you to understand what's coming. Tom Hadley here, and look, I've been doing this for 15 years, and this February pattern is giving me flashbacks to storms that made history. But before I break down the models, I need to tell you something that happened yesterday that puts all of this in perspective. I got a message from a viewer in Tennessee. Her name's Sarah. Elderly woman, living alone, still without heat from last weekend's ice storm. Temperature inside her house dropped to 38 degrees last night. She's sleeping in her car, running the heater for 30 minutes at a time. This weekend's cold could push that situation from uncomfortable to deadly, and she's one of thousands in the same boat right now. This is why I do these forecasts, because when I say life-threatening, I mean real people like Sarah who need help, not just numbers on a screen. I just got off the phone with a colleague in Tennessee. They still have 40,000 people without power, and temps are dropping into the 40s inside homes tonight. Families huddling around fireplaces, elderly people at genuine risk, kids who haven't been to school in 8 days. That's the reality behind these numbers. So when I go through this forecast city by city, understand this isn't academic. Your neighbor could be the next Sarah. Before we go further, if there's a region I don't cover, drop it below, because I read every comment and I'll get back to you within the hour. All right, what we're dealing with is a textbook Arctic outbreak. The jet stream dipping straight down from the Arctic Circle, funneling brutally cold air into the east. And this clipper diving down Friday isn't just bringing cold, it's bringing snow with enough energy to create whiteout conditions that trap people on highways. Remember the polar vortex of 2014 that killed 16 people and caused $5 billion in damages? Or the Texas freeze of 2021 that killed over 200. This isn't hyperbole. This pattern has the same fingerprints. A deep trough locked in place with no quick escape for the cold air. Now here's where it gets interesting and why I'm betting against the GFS model right now. The Euro shows this Arctic air lifting off by Monday the 9th. But the GFS wants to keep it locked in longer. One of them is wrong. And I'm putting my money on the Euro based on the upper level pattern. If I'm wrong, call me out in the comments tomorrow, because I want to be held accountable when I make these calls. All right, here's the timeline, and this is critical. Friday is when things kick into high gear, but let me show you something on the models that honestly shocked me this morning. I pulled up the European model at 5 a.m., and the pattern it's showing has echoes of something we haven't seen in years. All right, let's hit the cities, and I'm going to do this differently than usual. I'm grouping by regions so we can move fast and get to the critical stuff. Northeast Corridor, Boston to D.C., you're in the danger zone. Friday morning, we're talking I-95 whiteout conditions that could trap commuters. Major metros, New York City, 32 and 21. Boston, 32 and 18. Philly, 38 and 24. D.C., 42 and 26, all seeing snow squalls Friday with wind chills in the single digits. Upstate New York and New England, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, all 28 to 32 degrees with dangerous lake effect. Portland, Maine, and northern New England could see 6 to 10 inches. Great Lakes region, this is where it gets brutal. Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, all in the 20s with lows in the single digits to below zero. Wind chills approaching 30 below Saturday morning. This is frostbite in 10 minutes territory. Cleveland, Columbus, Indianapolis, Toledo, Cincinnati, all locked in the deep freeze. Now check this out. Minneapolis sitting at 22 degrees while Miami is at 76. That's a 54-degree temperature spread across one country. That gradient is the engine driving these storms. And here's what no one's talking about. the economic impact of this pattern. Last weekend's ice storm caused an estimated $2 billion in damages. Schools closed for a week straight in 12 states, and we're about to add to that toll. Mid-Atlantic and Southeast moderating, but still dealing with aftermath. Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Durham, Winston-Salem, all in the upper 40s to low 50s. Schools have been closed for a week. Kids falling behind. Parents scrambling to work from home while keeping kids occupied. Atlanta, Nashville, Memphis, all 48 to 52 degrees. Recovering from brutal freezes, Richmond, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, all upper 40s. Tidewater region catching a break finally. South Carolina upstate, Greenville, Spartanburg, Greer, Anderson, all around 50 degrees. Asheville in the mountains at 45 with higher elevations still seeing snow. North Carolina mountains and foothills, Boone, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk still in the 30s with active snow. The high country getting pounded while the Piedmont moderate. Tennessee, scattered cities, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Johnson City, all upper 40s. Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, tourist areas dealing with road closures from ice. Kentucky across the board, Lexington, Louisville, Bowling Green, all low 40s. Eastern Kentucky mountains still locked in the 30s with dangerous road conditions. West Virginia, Charleston, Huntington, Morgantown, all upper 30s to low 40s. With possible snow Friday, mountain counties could see 3 to 6 inches. Quick question for y'all. Are you seeing flakes yet where you are? Drop your city and what you're seeing right now, because I'm tracking real-time ground reports. South Florida, absolutely wild ride. Miami, 76 and 66, back to tropical warmth after hitting 30s last week, which should never happen. Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, all in the low 70s. Jacksonville, 62, recovering from freeze warnings that had citrus growers genuinely panicking. Gulf Coast cities, Pensacola, Mobile, Biloxi, all upper 50s to low 60s. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, similar. Shreveport inland at 58. Alabama beyond the coast, Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, all low to mid-50s. Damage assessments still ongoing from ice storm. Mississippi interior, Jackson, Meridian, Hattiesburg, all upper 50s. Schools reopening after week-long closure. Cleanup crews finally able to work. Texas Triangle, Houston, 58 and 42. Dallas-Fort Worth, low to mid-50s. San Antonio, 62. Austin, 60. The I-35 corridor in that chilly but manageable range. South Texas, Corpus Christi, Laredo, both upper 60s. Brownsville, McAllen near 70. Rio Grande Valley, warm and dry. West Texas, El Paso, 62. Lubbock, 52. Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, all low to mid-50s. Panhandle, cooling down. Arkansas, Little Rock, 50 degrees, needs to watch for wintry mix Friday. Fort Smith, Jonesboro, similar. Northwest Arkansas, mountains, colder. Louisiana, beyond the coast, Monroe, Alexandria, Lafayette, all around 60 degrees. Lake Charles, similar. Cajun country, dodging the worst. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, both upper 40s. Lawton, Norman, Stillwater, similar. Panhandle cities, colder with possible snow. Now hold on, I need to stop here because something just came in that changes the picture. And this is exactly why I check models obsessively. The 12Z Euro shifted the snow squall track 50 miles south about 2 hours ago. Cities that thought they'd see flurries are now looking at 2 to 4 inches. This is a massive shift, and if you're in the Ohio Valley or Mid-Atlantic corridor, you need to hear this because your Friday just got a lot more dangerous. Look at this timing. Friday morning, 7 to 10 a.m., the squalls hit the Great Lakes. Visibility drops from clear skies to absolute zero in under 60 seconds. This is how 50-car pileups happen, how people get stranded. If you're driving Cleveland, Buffalo, Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis Friday morning, either leave at 5 a.m. or don't go. Friday afternoon, 2 to 6 p.m., the snow spreads into the Mid-Atlantic, D.C., Philly, Baltimore, all seeing accumulation, not massive amounts, but enough to paralyze roads that aren't treated. Friday night into Saturday, the snow lingers across the Northeast. Boston could see 4 to 7 inches, especially with ocean enhancement kicking in. All right, let me get back to the rest of the cities because I know you're waiting. Midwest and Plains next. Midwest and Plains, St. Louis, Kansas City, both upper 30s. Wichita, low 40s. Springfield, Missouri, Topeka, similar. Iowa cities, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Sioux City, all upper 20s to low 30s. Locked in cold with wind chills, dangerous. Nebraska, Omaha, Lincoln, both mid to upper 30s. Grand Island, North Platte, similar. Panhandle, colder with possible snow. Dakotas, brutal. Fargo, Bismarck, both in the teens with lows near or below zero. Sioux Falls, Rapid City, low 20s. Wind chills, life-threatening. Wisconsin, beyond Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, Appleton, all mid to upper 20s. Eau Claire, La Crosse, similar. Lake effect snow ongoing. Michigan, beyond Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Kalamazoo, all upper 20s to low 30s. Traverse City, Marquette, colder with heavy lake effect. Ohio, beyond the major metros, Akron, Canton, Youngstown, Toledo, all around 30 degrees. Dayton, Springfield, similar. Lake effect in play. Indiana, beyond Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, South Bend, Evansville, all low 30s. Gary Hammond, Northwest Indiana, upper 20s with dangerous wind chills. Illinois, beyond Chicago, Peoria, Rockford, Springfield, all upper 20s to low 30s. Champaign-Urbana, similar. Entire state locked in freeze. Mountain West, Denver, Colorado Springs, mid to upper 40s. Cheyenne, Casper, Wyoming, low 40s. Mountain Passes seeing active snow. Idaho, Montana, Boise, mid 40s. Spokane, low 40s. Billings, Missoula, Great Falls, all 30s to low 40s with mountain snow. Utah, Nevada, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, both low 60s. Reno, mid 50s. Provo, St. George, similar. Dry conditions. Arizona, New Mexico, Phoenix, Tucson, low 70s. Flagstaff, much colder in the 40s. Albuquerque, Santa Fe, low 50s. California, LA, San Diego, mid to upper 60s. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, all around 60. Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, similar. Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, low 50s, rainy. Spokane, low 40s. Eugene, Salem, similar. Mountain Passes, active snow. For detailed city-specific forecast, I've got over 100 cities covered in the description. Scroll down, find yours, and drop questions below. Saturday is when the cold really locks in. Wind chills across the Great Lakes and Northeast plunge to 20 to 40 below in many spots. We're talking exposed skin freezes in 10 to 15 minutes. If you have to be outside full coverage head to toe, this is life-threatening cold. Sunday, the coldest air settles in across New England and the upper Midwest. Wind chills approaching 50 below in the most exposed areas. Now the pattern flip, and this is where things get really interesting because what's setting up mid-month could be historic. By Monday the 9th, that Arctic air begins lifting off. Warmth from the south pushing in, and out west, cold air moves in, creating this seesaw pattern. Tuesday the 10th, we see a flatter jet stream ascending towards the east. Significant warm-up for areas like the Carolinas, Tennessee, Ohio Valley that have been brutalized. Wednesday the 11th, Thursday the 12th, here's where it gets wild. Models showing potential for wintry weather returning to the northeast. Activity in the Rockies spreading to the northern plain. Now the Euro and GFS are disagreeing on this. The Euro shows a more aggressive system. The GFS keeps it flatter. I'm leaning Euro on this one. And if a slight northward track adjustment happens, we could be looking at a major snowfall event for the I-95 corridor. Here's what really has me watching the overnight runs. When you get warm up followed by cold shot, that's the textbook setup for explosive storms. The battle zone between warm Gulf air and cold Canadian air produces the most violent weather, and we're heading right into that pattern. If this develops as the Euro shows, we could see severe thunderstorms from Texas to Tennessee and blizzard conditions from Ohio to Maine. Way too early for specifics, but the signal is there. I'll be tracking this closely, and if it trends stronger, I'll have updates out immediately. And think about this. People like Sarah in Tennessee, they barely survived this round. If a second major storm hits before power is restored, we're talking about a genuine humanitarian crisis. That's not fear-mongering, that's math. 40,000 without power, plus another ice event, equals catastrophe. So what do you need to do right now? Stock up on supplies today. Charge every device. If you're without power, find a warming center immediately. Generators, outside away from windows. Carbon monoxide kills people every winter. It has no smell, no color, and it's deadly. Check on elderly neighbors. A quick call could save a life. Pets inside, period. If it's too cold for you, it's too cold for your dog. If you must travel Friday, complete emergency kit. Blankets, water, flashlight, phone charger, snacks, shovel. Getting stranded goes from inconvenient to dangerous fast. Know where warming centers are. Addresses on paper, not just your phone. Stock medications now. Pharmacies could be closed. Heating oil, propane, get tanks filled. Firewood if you have a fireplace. Be ready because this weekend is brutal. All right, here are the 4 things on my radar. Number 1, Friday's clipper with snow squalls. Visibility drops to 0 without warning. Number 2, weekend Arctic blast with life-threatening wind chills. Saturday, Sunday, brutal across the northern tier. Genuine frostbite weather. Number 3, pattern flip around the 10th. Warmth into the east while west cools. Significant relaxation of this Arctic pattern. Number 4, mid-month storm potential 11th through 13th. Euro showing aggressive development. If this verifies, could be a major multi-state event. That's what I'm watching tonight. If the overnight runs shift dramatically, I'll have an update out by 6 a.m. tomorrow so you know before anyone else. Before I go, if this forecast helps smash that like button right now, it makes a massive difference getting critical info to people when dangerous weather is coming. What region should I dive deeper on tomorrow? And honestly, are you exhausted from this winter or still loving the snow? Drop it below. Subscribe if you haven't because this pattern stays active through mid-month. You don't want to miss updates, especially as that Valentine's weekend setup develops. Stay warm, stay safe, get through this brutal weekend. Relief is coming by Wednesday, I promise. The models are backing that up. I'm Tom Hadley. Appreciate every one of you trusting me with your forecast. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. with the latest.